video over and over again. Like, why not?
Oh.
Word will come later. There's meats to be had right now.
I'm glad you said this. So I'm on isolation right now, me and the wife and the kids. So I'm working from home. And she's like, why were you on Twitter for 10 hours today when you're supposed to be at work? I literally spent the entire day, like, Twitter, doing a little bit of work, onto Twitter, doing a little bit more work.
That's multitasking, Dingus.
Yeah.
I hate when I come up with like some stupid idea too that usually might involve a video that I can't like save from Twitter, so I have to like screen record it, and then it like looks stupid and I have to go crop it and then maybe go into iMovie and like narrate it or like put a caption on it or something, or like, no, I don't want a video, I want a GIF instead. So I go into my GIF app and I start doing that and like caption and, oh, here's a sticker. And then like all of a sudden it's 45 minutes later and I'm about to post it. I'm like, okay, now the caption for the tweet. And then you're just like, you know what? This is so stupid. And then you push cancel and you push save to draft, I got so many of those. Like, no, I have no confidence at all. Like, it's going to be a horrible tweet.
Man. I'm the opposite. I tweet out so much stuff like useless. I'm like, oh, I'll tweet that. And then like 30 minutes later, I'm like, wait, why did I fucking tweet that? Like, I just sound like an idiot right now. Like, I look like a buffoon.
I've definitely had like moments where posting like photos of me in my like jean shorts, and then like no one it seems like no one sees it for the first like 10 minutes, and I'm like, oh no, this didn't hit well.
Delete.
Yeah, I know people are gonna think
this went sideways.
It's like the first one, I think. That's how I felt. I'm like, no.
No.
I think I'll be honest. Like, I will craft the tweet, but if I don't hit send on it, it stays in my draft folders for literally until I die. I will go back at my funeral and have people read my Twitter drafts.
Open the draft
because I think it's going to be worth it. My second grade teacher smelled like milk, but not spoiled milk, just like regular milk, I was like, I don't know if Twitter's ready for that tweet or not, so it's going in the drafts.
Some heavy hitting stuff.
I wonder what raspberry milk tastes like. Like, what?
You leave Miss Singleton alone.
Oh man, could you imagine, Jake, seriously, at your funeral, like dedicating like 30 minutes to your drafts on Twitter? Like, at this time, we will now have the reading of Jake's drafts on Twitter, dating back from 2019 all the way through 2044.
I would be so happy about it because I would want everybody to feel as uncomfortable as I do in everyday situations at my own funeral. So I think that'd be worth it.
See, and I got to applaud you for being able to hold off on not hitting send, because I'll type something, I won't even read it. It won't even be done reading, and I'll be hitting send on it no matter what. I don't even have a clue what I sent until it's out there. Like, shit, it's out there now. Just got to put it on the side.
Hope nobody's going to read this.
I have so many drafts. What in the world?
Same. I'm not a draft guy at all. It's all send, and then I look back at it.
Really?
Like, oh Jesus, my English grammar is
I was going to say
struggling these days.
we might have to have a draft, J Mike.
A draft.
But it sounds like we don't have enough drafts. So
because I'm the same way, because I don't, when it comes to drafts, like if I see that I have any drafts, I don't leave them there. Like, it bothers me to have drafts in there. It's like either I'm sending it or I'm not sending it. And for whatever reason, if I don't send it, it's like, no, it's got to go. Like, I can't be looking back at this.
Well, I got a question for you, Jake. Are you a guy who leaves your inbox on your phone, your mail inbox, like full?
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah,
it's gross. The number of notifications that just hang out there and never go away. Yeah,
the like 10,442 mail.
Oh my god!
Oh man, that drives
and they're all from Bed Bath and Beyond, but I just go unsubscribe or delete them.
Yeah, all you have to do is do the unsubscribe, and you're all set.
It'd be so easy. But then I wouldn't get to see that number tick up every day.
Yeah,
so
right.
I feel like
it makes me feel important. One of these days, I'm gonna get a
counting
email.
steps. It's like your own little Fitbit, with email.
Did BB and Beyond check in on me today? All right, cool. I know it's going to be a good day.
No big deal.
And it's like, hey, this is, with it being Christmas time, it's like, hold up. I really might need to go check out what they've got going on this week.
Glad I didn't unsubscribe.
The amount of fucking 20% off coupons that I have in my email
Find
right
that
now.
coupon. Yeah, I know I got one some here.
I'm getting free gifts for everybody with the amount of coupons I've got stuck.
Yeah, that'll add up to like 20%.
Oh my god, my god. When you get absolutely annihilated and then you wake up to a bunch of like drafts on Twitter and you're like, wow, good thing I didn't send that. Like, holy shit, like I was drunk as shit. Good thing I didn't send that one. Delete.
I think
like the
that's where
morning
they
after
come from
draft.
for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I think that's where they come from.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
I'm too scared, man.
You're like laying in bed with your mobile phone, kind of look over at your shoulder. And it's like, there's the draft from last night. Kind of
Yeah, exactly.
oh, wait.
Pretend like that never happened.
Yeah, the door's right there, honey.
I'll call you an Uber.
Okay, and this is the open bar. Gosh dang it. Greatest intros of all time, and we ain't talking about the raps. Huh? Come on now. It's Tuesday. It's 9:30 Eastern ish. Heavy on that ish. Sorry we're late again. No, we're not. We're not at all. We're not sorry. Yeah. They still show up, J Mike. Why do they show up, J Mike? Why do they show up?
Fish.
Look at these beautiful
Indeed.
faces.
The memory of fish. Not like those type of fish, J Mike. We still want people to actually listen. All right, man. Well, how you doing? How you doing, Fish?
Bro, I am so happy to be here right now. It has been a really interesting day.
Mhm.
However, at this point, the Spurs don't have a losing record yet, so I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really good. NBA's here almost. I'm excited about that. Hey, advanced in so many playoff leagues. I'm really happy about that. One of the few leagues I did not advance in, though, the open bar best ball-ish charity league. Second in points in the J Mike division all year long. Get to the top 8, obviously. The top 6 advance. And guess who's number 7? Happy me. Sadness abounds. But it's all good. Shout out to everybody in that league doing good work. But yeah, that's been my week. How you living, Gabe?
See, J Mike, that's why you just don't start leagues.
Not even for good causes. Just don't do it. Not for impressions. Not for charities. Just forget it all, man. Flush it.
I'm all right, man. I am not as successful as you in playoffs this year. Just a big old this year, man. And I think I've said this before, but the dynasty rosters, actually, I guess I did lose in our bar tab, which sucked because I would have beat the other 2 teams had the Molson picked me instead of the other team. I would have beat both of them. So yeah, I was a little heated about that. But the dynasty leagues are going better than the redraft leagues, which is, I guess I'm okay with that. I didn't know that it was time to transition. I thought that I could keep a balance, for life. And here I am, And is it time, J Mike? Is it time to just ditch the redraft?
Listen, man, the heart wants what the heart wants. Who am I to tell you that you need to ditch redraft? I'm just going to say this. At the end of the day, at the end of this season, are you going to be able to look FF Man Bun, FF Jodeci in the face? FF I want to Zeke you. Are you going to be able to look him in the eyes at the end of this season and say, you know what, self, FF Jodeci, I'm proud to be in a redraft league. Are you going to be able to do that? That's my only question. Listen, the heart wants. Don't listen to me. What do I know? I don't know.
I'm in 0 playoffs in redraft leagues now. I'm officially out of all of them. So at this point, no, I ain't Zeking shit. As a matter of fact, I had Zeke on too many teams, and that's where that's where it went wrong.
I got Zeke all the way up out of here.
I know. At least with Dynasty, there's like flexibility, a little bit more flexibility, you know, because it's not like a new draft. So it's like I just have these like yeah, I love that. That's one of my favorite things I've ever heard about like just a phrase about an action of it's so funny. So good.
You could literally get 10 guesses at what this was.
Yeah.
And you would not get any of them probably remotely close to what was actually happening.
Right.
Oh, I bet I know smash butts. I bet I know exactly what it was.
Okay.
Smoking cigarettes.
Oh, come on.
This guy.
Yeah.
I'm a smoker. I get it. I'm a smoker.
Somebody get Sean Penn out of here.
If it makes you feel better, I thought of 11 other different wrong things that I
we all know Peter loves a smash a butt every now and then. Eh?
Absolutely.
Might have to have back-to-back episodes with the same title. It hasn't been done, but all right. Yeah, enough of redraft though, Jay. I'm done with it. Let's look. Dynasty. It's automatic. We've got people here. They're here. They're two new people, too old of sorts to the show, that is. All right, calm down. We're not ageist over here. We like Julio, okay? It's fine. But we're gonna give the old rookies, you know, their time to shine. Okay, introduce them to the show first because we are respectful here on the Open Bar. And they were kind enough to provide a show sheet for us per the rookie ritual. So very much appreciate that, guys. We'll get to the show sheet in just a moment. But first and foremost, feel free to introduce yourself. I know it's not Sunday, but it's for the love of Tuesday tonight, baby. What's up? Johnny Bats, straight facts. Hit the mics. Let's go.
Straight facts, baby. Johnny Bats here. From For the Love of Sundays, the For the Love of Sundays podcast. Basically just talk shit about our league, and we do rankings, and we do other things as well. We had a website, we kind of let it go by the wayside, so that's no longer a thing. So you can just find us on Twitter. You can follow the podcast. You can get it anywhere you listen to podcasts. If my grandfather can find it, you can find it. It's super easy. Just look FTLS up in Apple iTunes or Spotify, and you will find us. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We just talk about Sundays because Sundays are the best day out of the week for sure. We love Sundays. We love everything about them. It's a way of life for us in the league. You're hanging out, you're drinking, you're partying with your friends, your family, you're watching football. That's what Sundays are all about, man. So we love them. Absolutely love Sundays.
Yeah, man. BJ Straight here at FTL Sunday on Twitter. Inactive lately. Crazy. Life hits you once in a while, right?
Yeah, busy.
Oh, it's awful. But we are active still on the podcast, though. It's been great. Me and John love getting together once a week and doing this, banging it out, and talking fantasy football in general, talking a little bit about the league as well. We keep it pretty light. And I think we, help some people once in a while.
We got a few.
We have got a couple emails before and Twitter messages.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. We still get start sits in my inbox. So.
It's amazing. It's amazing. We still do.
Somehow.
I'm usually wrong. Usually, whatever advice I give, tend to go with the other advice, the opposite side of it, and you'll do just fine. You'll probably be in your championship.
See, but y'all got to stick around. This is the time to produce content.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Haven't you heard? There's been a pandemic this year.
I
think it's gonna wash out all of the podcasters. We've been complaining for years now. Oh, everybody starts a podcast. Now this is kind of the reckoning, if you will, for podcasts. We're just gonna wash them all away.
Yeah.
And who's gonna be left? Is it gonna be for the love of Sunday? Y'all got a case of the Mondays or what? Come on, what's going on here?
We're always trophy in your case. You can only get it one way.
Come on.
We're not going anywhere.
No,
We don't do it. We don't really do it for anybody else except
I
for
don't
me.
do it for
John,
anyone
all the
other
guys
than
in the league.
talk to Brian and the 12, 13 guys in the league. That's the only reason why I do it.
And honestly, you don't want to know where it kind of stems from. John and I have lived really close together for a long, long time. Best friends for since what, preschool, John?
Preschool.
So
yeah, we met in preschool.
we got used to obviously chatting with each other constantly face to face, and then he moves to Florida, and I'm still up in the Northeast. So it's kind of our initiative to each other to continue this thing. It's our way to sneak away and have a good time once a week, really.
Indeed.
Drink a nice little Cabernet.
Yeah, for sure.
Life's good.
Feeling a little cabby tonight, are we?
2017 cab. It's where
He
it's
likes
at.
the finer things,
Yeah,
Nicer.
2017. That's a warm year. It's a warm.
It is. It's a great year. It's a great year for the grape.
Good grapes. Oh,
Yeah, it's a great
exactly
year
what
for
I was going to say. Grapes of wrath? I don't think so. No,
No.
I don't think so. Yeah, J Mike and I have known each other since preschool too. So no, we haven't.
Damn, man, that's awesome.
I mean, the vibe sounds similar though, at least, and we certainly hit it the same way that y'all do. And every Tuesday, 9:30 Eastern, open bar. No, guys, happy to have you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm huge fan of the show.
It
really is.
It's funny. Anytime that anyone asks for an intro from me, I'm like, great guests to ask. To come on the show. New people. So no, I'm happy to have y'all on finally. I know it's been a minute, but appreciate y'all being here.
Cool.
Thanks for having us.
Jake. I know you've been you came in here with impressions. All right. Okay. Who are you doing tonight? You have one. You did me, didn't you? You have one for me, huh?
Yeah, hold on.
Man bun.
Right. So like I'm talking like this, and then this is how Gabe talks. This is exactly how Gabe talks. This is 100% how Gabe talks. This is as close of an impression as you're ever going to find of Gabe. Yeah. No, I didn't come in with any impressions loaded.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Not much. I appreciate you guys inviting me back onto this wonderful show because it remains the most fun I've ever had on the podcast. So,
wow,
put that out there. Yeah.
Can you put that in your bio, would you? Just for at least a week. The most fun I've ever, just the entire bio. The most fun I've ever had on a
I'll do you one better. I will make a sign and I will hang it in my house window. How about that?
Yeah. Could you actually make a stained glass window? Could that be done?
I'm an impressionist, not impressionist stained art glass guy.
Impression stain. All right, we'll take it. No, happy to have you though, man. It's gonna be great. I don't know. All right, Dingus, that's enough snaking around. All right, put your skirt on. Welcome back to the show. What's good, friend? How are you doing?
Well, as a veteran here, we all know the importance of taking the pre-pod poo before you get onto any show here. We're not going to leave in the fourth quarter and wait until we come back late. So we're going to hit this up right from the start, right to the finish here.
Yeah,
cramps. Yeah. You know what? You know how much poo you have to let go to get an IV? Like you have to literally drop a lot to have to need an IV to go in. So kudos on Lamar Jackson for battling through that and giving that comeback late in that game. And then going for 2 was just like the perfect way to end it.
Before we completely leave Dingus and introing him, I do just want to just quickly, the fact that with whatever happened in the background, okay, what Lamar had to do, whether he blew number 2, number 3, or number 4, whatever really happened back there, I'm sure the room was never the same. That's neither here nor there. The fact that he can come back on 4th flipping down with the game on the line and throw a touchdown. Listen, we can say whatever we want to about Lamar as a passer. That is the stuff of legends. Like I went down, I dropped some atom bombs on this toilet, came in on 4th down right as McSorley gets hurt, and I throw a touchdown to give us the lead. Like it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd.
Like, could you imagine the storyline, how this all wrote itself out? Like, he dropped a bomb to Marquise Brown. Then they went for a 2-point conversion against the Browns.
Against the
Like, this
Browns.
material, you can't write this. This just
Mhm.
works into so perfectly in each other.
You really can't.
I'm kind of wondering why you're still Dingus 4 and not Dungus 2.
That's a possibility.
Oh my
Or
god.
2 Dungus. You know, we might have to,
Two
we have to
Dungus.
change that handle up here. So
Two Dungus, 2 Delirious. Can you fit that?
I'm pretty confident the Twitter handle's out there. I can probably put anything I want with Dungus.
Okay, put that Luda in the background, Gabe. I'm too dumb for yo.
Fwah! I love that. Fwah! That was my favorite.
What an ad lib. What an ad lib.
I know. I was like, where did that come from? I've never heard that ad lib.
Hey, Gabe, I don't know if you saw this earlier when you were talking about handles, but shout out to the homie Nick Martinez. Nick, good to see you in the chat here. 9:30 p.m. Eastern, live, YouTube, Periscope, HBO Max. I'm just kidding. Yeah. But Nick said, hey, draft a new Twitter handle for your year in fantasy, and you have to have a player that relates to your year in fantasy as well. So I don't know if you have any draft ideas, and maybe we can push this off for later in the show. I just wanted to put this in front of you before it, disappeared. I don't know if it's going to be a candidate for you, Gabe.
I'm in, very much in. That's one of those kind of unique little pockets that we don't we got to think about, But I mean, I'm ready. I stay ready. Ain't got to get ready. I've been look. I've been thinking about this one since last week, Nick. Come on, I had it in the tuck. I'm ready to go. That's why I'm 105 or 106, so I can think about it.
That ready.
I'm going to need someone to come up with 2 of these. I'm going to need someone to come up with 2 of these and then direct message me the one that I'm not using so that I can use
that one. What do you think, J. Mike? You want to do it now? Can we force it? I mean, Lamar didn't. Should we let it go naturally? Okay,
let's get it.
All right.
So again, if you're looking in the chat, if you are listening in podcast form, again, shout out to Nick Martinez with the idea. What we're doing here is we are going to draft a new Twitter handle for your year in fantasy this year and a player who relates to it. Okay. So basically, if you had to scrub your history clean, and some of you may have had to have done that in your past. No judgment here. This is the open bar. All are welcome. But if you had to scrub it all clean, delete all the drafts, get it all up out of there. You had to draft a new Twitter handle for your year in fantasy this year and a player who relates to it. What would it be? Who wants the honor of Dingus? Dingus with the 101.
All right. Well, I'll start off the 101 because we got to go uphill from here, right? So I'm going to set the bar really low, and the rest of you guys can trip over it and look really good. But I'm going to go with my season. I started off really good at the start of the season. J. Mike could kind of relate to this with his open bar charity league. Started off strong, bad finish. I'm going to use last night's game. And I'm going to say I am the FF 30-minute Chubb. Okay, 30-minute Chubb. Nick Chubb's 2 touchdowns in the first 30 minutes of last night's game, and then he disappeared, and Kareem Hunt took over the game. That is my season pretty much down. Started off strong, got off to a good first half of the season, and then just went limp from there.
Limp.
The good thing about a 30-minute Chubb is that you don't have to consult your doctor afterwards. Perfectly normal amount of time to have.
Exactly. If I stretch that into another 30 minutes, then we have to go seek professional help.
Yeah, I think you hit the nice cutoff.
If I'm 30 minutes, it's a blessing. It's a blessing.
If I had 30 minutes, I'm calling everybody.
I'm calling my doctor and I'm bragging. I'm like, kidding me? I'm excited. Yeah. Like, you'll never guess what I just did. With your heart condition, I probably wouldn't.
Are you okay? Do you need a drink?
You need an
Just
IV?
water?
You need an IV? You need that Lamar? Real, you cramping up? Oh,
Wow.
All right. That was good.
all right.
Let me type.
I think I got mine. Oh, you know, go for it, man bun. Go for
No,
it.
no, 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 no. No, not me. Couldn't be me. Not me.
I'm gonna say my season. So I made some changes. My season sucked. My season totally sucked, and I made some changes at the draft. I moved down the draft to draft this particular player, Odell Beckham Jr. And I thought I had myself a little diamond in the rough. Thought I was excited, but I just got shit on with Odell. So I'm gonna say I'm FF Cleveland Steamer was my season for sure. With leading with Odell, who did absolutely. He won me 1 week where I won the top score of the week, $100. Thank you, Odell. So I'll give you that. Your edible arrangements in the mail. But then other than that, it was absolutely nothing as my wide receiver one. So FF Cleveland Steamer, because that was my season in a nutshell. It's absolute dog shit.
I kind of like that name more than Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Steamers would be fun.
Steamers would be fun.
Yeah. Good.
Which fruit has the most fiber in it, by the way? That's definitely what's included in that edible arrangement.
Oh,
correct?
100%. Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yeah. It's actually just fiber.
Papaya or whatever it is.
I don't know. Yeah. It's fiber chewables and melon. That's all it is.
Metamucil infused
dip,
papaya.
Metamucil dip in chocolate and stuck into a little arrangement. Yeah.
Edible enemas. Man,
I can't believe. Listen, Odell's he's got plenty of money. Why is he doing this with and the girl who admitted that he did it? She was nasty. She was an ugly, and God bless her soul. She's probably a nice woman, but she was not attractive at all. And I highly doubt Odell called her, flew her out to wherever he was, and said, "Hey, I need you to do this for me." It just doesn't sit right. I just have a feeling that story is not true. I just can't believe it.
I don't think she was sitting. She was probably hovering more.
Touche.
It's because you got to get the angle, the correct angle, right? You know, they got the squatty potties to get your, legs at the acute angle. All right. Math reference. So, probably some sort of
bring geometry class into here.
Yeah, some sort of steam swing, I would imagine, that's hovering above Odell here. And that's all I've got. That's all I've got to go with this.
Well, the drop point is very key here. The drop point is key. Depending on the height, and we're talking physics here, physics and trigonometry. Depending on that height and where it's getting dropped from, a bunch of different variables can come into play.
Yeah.
You think they brought a
Odell's
ladder
not
in?
about drops either.
Steps, maximum impact. That was going on, Jake.
Maximum impact.
I don't know what the guy's into, and nor am I one to judge, quite frankly.
Yeah. No.
Because I'm into some freaky shit, Jake.
Yeah, Jake, I ain't judging.
I'm not one to judge.
You think dumb tweets are the only thing in that draft file? You have your goddamn mind.
All right, 103. Where we at?
Straight facts.
Anyone have anything? All right. Well, I'll give you one. Mine would be like I was trying to think of something. Maybe cooking some gritties, because I tell you what, Dalvin Cook had me dancing the gritty the whole season, because I was stacking points on top of points on top of points on top of points and winning games constantly, and largely due to Dalvin Cook, because that guy is an absolute animal.
Must be fun. Must be fun.
You must have been one of the few, the proud, the cooks when it came to early in the season, because it was really scary at the beginning of the year. Is he going to get the contract? Is he going to be healthy? We don't know what's going on with Dalvin. Alex Madison might eat into the workload. All these things were hovering before the season, and people were nervous. And we saw Dalvin Cook drop and drop and drop. Well done.
I will
Well done,
give Bats the credit on Dalvin Cook. When we went through the draft process, what was it, 3 years ago now, Bats?
Yeah.
Cook came out. Is it 3 years already?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, out of Florida State. It was crazy.
He was Bats' favorite guy. And who else was in that class?
CMC, Fournette,
Fournette.
Mixon.
Like a sucker, I was still into like the big bruising guys, so I was into Fournette, right? So Bats is all about Cook, home run hitter, loved him. And obviously, he had the injury early on, and then I grew on him. And then I drafted him the following year. We have a bit of it's a keeper league, but it's like hybrid dynasty almost. So I've held on to him for a couple of years now, and he's just, you live with the injuries with that guy because he's just, when he's in the lineup, he's a difference maker, right? He's legit.
We talk about it on the podcast all the time. One touch guys, and he's a one touch guy. All it takes is one or two plays, and you're like, oh, he made my week. The rest is gravy. Like, okay, he just ripped off a 60-yard touchdown. Okay, anything else he gets at this point is just fun. And so, yeah, dude, it's hard to find guys like that in the NFL. There's a handful. There's a handful of guys that you can say are, oh yeah, he's legit. Him, Tyreek Hill. Volume doesn't matter. All it takes is one play, and all of a sudden you're looking at fantasy glory.
So, moral of the story: Bats actually helped me win my championship. My biggest rival. I kind
of hate that you're giving me credit right now. Like, I don't know how I'm upset about this compliment. I'm upset about it, but I am.
Thank you for talking me into Dalvin.
Yeah, you're welcome. You son of a bitch.
Take the compliment, Bats.
I can't because it means Brian's winning.
This is the kind of mental warfare that I like to wage with.
This is exactly it. This is exactly it.
Thank you for winning.
It's like a low end backhanded compliment. You know what I mean? There's nothing worse in fantasy. I'd rather someone be an arrogant, pompous prick and brag and brag and brag. But when you're that guy's like, oh man, you tried so hard. I thought we were having a really good competition. I really thought your team had a chance against me this week. Those guys piss me off. Those are the ones that piss me off every time.
Dingus, you just absolutely nailed BJ to a T. Every time he goes, I was nervous for the first hour. You had me against the ropes. I'm like, dude, no, I didn't. I'm starting Jeff Wilson. There's no way I had you against the ropes. Like, shut up.
You never know with Mostert. He might go down, and then it's Jeff Wilson.
Seriously, I'm like, just take the win and move on.
You know what? I screwed up last week because I didn't do that with you. I didn't. John was in the dumps. Well, your season was tough this year.
Yeah, I had a tough break. I had a tough break.
You had some tough breaks.
I had some tough breaks.
Left you alone. I left you alone.
Yeah, he knew work was stressful. He knew I was going through some serious stuff at home.
First time in about 10 years of fantasy football, I left him alone on rivalry week, and you know what cost me? It cost me the game, I think.
Yeah. Yep. Sure.
Now,
we'll go with that.
Corey Davis.
Corey Davis, baby. Corey Davis.
I'm just curious. At the end of the year, are you going to be okay when BJ looks at the screen and he just gets like locked eyes with you? And he just goes, bro, hand on the shoulder, bro, I wouldn't have this championship without you.
I'll be so pissed. I'll be so pissed.
That's the type of friendship that endures a pandemic.
Yeah.
That's a brotherhood that endures 20, 30 some odd years of crazy. Thank you. You. I couldn't do it without you. Like
that would be the last episode. That would be the last episode of the FTLS podcast. It would be done. Wrap it up. We move on to something else. I'd pick up maybe fantasy basketball. I don't know. I'd do something else. I'd figure something else out. Maybe
that's
take
the
up
most
tennis.
Evil shit I've ever heard in my life. That's like Don Corleone shit. Like you did this. You helped me. What the fuck?
I'd probably finish it off by saying, don't expect me to do the same for you, though.
Yeah, of course. And he'd be like, and by the way, I'm spending my winning on, something nice.
Dalvin
Cook jersey. Yeah, Dalvin Cook signed jersey. I'm gonna hang right behind him. So every time we do the podcast, I have to see it. Yeah, something stupid like that.
He was like your favorite out of all the years we've been doing this. He might have been your favorite prospect.
He might have been my favorite prospect. Honestly, he might have been my favorite prospect ever. Like just something about him. I just loved him. I think it was combination because my cousin went to Florida State, and so it was a combination of the fact he was a Florida State guy. He was a fucking home run hitter in college, fast, lightning. I don't know. I just liked him. I think he had some swag to his game. He was a fun running back to watch. You go back, do yourself a favor and go back and watch film on him in college. He really was kind of like electric. And then, to see it translate into the pros is kind of cool. That was also the first time that I really scouted a guy and then watched him grow into the NFL and go, oh, wow. I guess like I'm seeing things that are growing into the NFL. And it was like, oh, I understand what I'm at least looking for and looking at, which was fun for me too. So yeah, Dalvin Cook's a great guy. Love him. It sucks that he's on your team. It totally sucks. Totally sucks. I hate it.
Yep. It's just gonna be a spite pick now.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Got that. So I got that going for me.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I got Jeff Wilson though.
Yeah. Hey. Huh?
Yay, Jeff Wilson.
Do yourself a favor. Go back and watch Jeff Wilson.
Yeah. I couldn't even tell you what school he went to. Gun to my head, I would have no idea.
I'm not there either. No.
That's a great question.
I hope it was like Southwest Appalachian, Northern prospects of the Western United Front for TV enthusiasts. Like, I hope it's just something as ridiculous.
Didn't McKinnon and
it's not that
Rita
bad.
go to the same school, like small school? I forget.
I don't think it's the same.
McKinnon went to like Southern
McKinnon went to
like
Georgia.
It's either like Georgia Southern or Furman, one of those two.
Was it Georgia State, Georgia Southern?
Jeffrey Wilson would have been North Texas.
There you go. Good job.
Look at you. I love it.
That's the one.
North Texas.
Not just a pretty suit over there, dingus.
4 years at North Texas.
Go Panthers.
561 attempts. 3,000. That'd be bad. 3,204 yards for 5
yards on 400 attempts
per carry. Come on.
Glow up, King.
Savage. That's actually savage numbers.
You dropped something, Jeff.
Debbie Dapper
It
Dingus.
wasn't a dungus. It was a
crown.
It was a crown. It was a crown. Where we at? The 104 now? Where we at?
104.
I'm gonna forget my pick, so we have to keep doing this. Jake, go ahead, man. What do you got?
I don't know. I feel like my seasons overall here with my leagues, they've gone pretty okay. They've gone fine. I think they've been better than I thought that they were going to be this year, because I thought this year was just going to be complete anarchy, first of all, coming into this thing. Like, I thought by week 5, we would all be fighting over, like, the most points scored, because it would have wrapped up the season after points 5, and we'd been scrambling to, like, determine the winners. So in relation to that, I think I did good, because we're in week 15 and things are still happening. So I'm going to say, and I was very safe about my drafts this year. I went Robert Woods everywhere I could get Robert Woods, because he's just like your safe friend. And so I would change my Twitter handle to @I really like Robert Woods, because I think he's a consistent fantasy player for you, and probably a really cool dude off the field that you could hang out with for at least a couple hours and feel like you had something to tell your friends about later that day, or something close to that.
How many characters do you need for
I don't know. I don't think Twitter has limits on that. It's only the character limits for your tweets, but not on your handles. That's what they don't tell you.
Yeah. Can I shorten that up for you
Please.
Woods over your cup or something like that?
Yeah, I don't feel like it captures. I don't feel like it captures Woods' essence and soul, though, about how nice and consistent and pretty okay of a guy he is. But I like everything else about it, though. To be fair.
pretty okay of a guy.
Pretty
He's
okay.
Pretty
of a dude.
okay of a guy.
I wish so many people would talk so nicely about me like that.
Yeah, that's what I write in all of my holiday cards to people that I know and care.
Happy holidays. You're a pretty okay
holiday?
person.
In terms of okay people, you are so okay that I'm sending you this card.
Smack
that's
dab
pretty
in the
high.
middle.
And that will be the question too. Like, how does one fully encapsulate, fully capture the essence of yeah, I think so. Like how do you is that what Bobby Wood? Like, yeah, like I like that. That's
With this GIF, I guess, is all you can really do.
yeah.
The Larry
It's
David
the,
gift.
Yeah. pretty good. pretty good.
that one and the lady who's in kombucha. She's like she's got that look on her face. It kind of goes. Ugh.
No, okay.
Like,
All right. That's passable. That's
Oh,
passable.
man.
The Alonzo Mourning one.
That one too. He looks like the saddest person ever, and then it just kind of finishes off like, "Yeah, I guess this is what it is, man. This is my life."
Yeah.
That's pretty much how I wake up every morning.
Strong. Gabe, I ruined your draft before last week. I ruined it with your comparison, so I will not dare 2 weeks in a row go before you. 105, and then I'll follow it with the 106, and then honorable mentions that I have in mind, or at least one honorable mention.
The honorable mentions after the draft is over. Is that how those work? Yeah.
It's Mr. Steal Your Pig.
So we
It
basically got
wasn't even-
undrafted free agent handles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
It wasn't even the fact that you stole the pick. It was the fact that you didn't think that could actually.
Never in a million years, dude.
Yeah.
There's no way you're gonna pick this player. I promise you. Let me just sneak it in real quick.
Let me just throw in the honorable mentions first. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I blew it. I'm sorry.
Imagine doing that at Oscars or Grammys.
I'm gonna let you finish, but
Yeah, exactly.
Beyonce had the best video of all time.
Right. Yeah, he did do that to me. He did.
He Kanye'd you.
100%.
Rojo had the best or the most honorable mention of all time. Okay. So mine, I think it's probably more redraft focused since we were kind of alluding to that earlier. I will hang my hat there, literally and figuratively. My handle would be FF Just You Wait. All right, so I was all over the place as far as strategies go this year, but certainly a lot of zero running back. A lot of running backs taken in rounds 7 and beyond. Rojo, certainly one. Just you wait until he takes over the entire backfield, LaShawn McCoy. Just you wait until he takes over the entire backfield, Leonard Fournette. Just you wait. Just like week after week after week. And then J.K. Dobbins, you'd see 2 or 3 runs each week or plays, catches, whatever. And it's like, who was tweeting every week to unleash J.K. Dobbins, Curtis Patrick at RotoViz, unleash. And it's like, yes, please. And I'm like, just you wait, and the just you wait just came too late, in weeks 7 and beyond. And it was just too difficult to get caught up and squeeze into that 6th seed and wreak havoc with old JK and Rojo in tandem. And Gus Edwards is still, vulturing JK till his death. So yeah, FF Just You Wait is entirely my season, just waiting, and not being able to fill the gaps up until that point.
I like it.
And you know what, Rojo? It's too late to apologize. It's too late.
I am literally firing up way too much Gus Edwards in semifinals this week.
Oh, and he's gonna
It's
do
so bad because
bad.
he is a decent runner. He's a decent running back. It's just so funny. He's a good butt joke in fantasy football community, but it's like you watch him run. Him and J.K. Dobbins really do work well together. Like they are a good tandem, and it's fun to make fun of the Gus bus. But it's like, man, he's effective. He certainly is effective.
So you kind of mentioned there about James Cook being your guy a few years back. Well, Gus Edwards was kind of my make fun of everyone else guy. I was posting like links where he was just as good as Saquon Barkley on certain types of runs and this and that, posting stats that kind of made him look just as good as Barkley throughout the whole draft process. And he was just kind of one of my guys I was having fun with. And yeah, so now he's basically killing the J.K. Dobbins buzz because we all know the most talented back there is Dobbins. I don't think there's much of an argument there. But man, if Gus Edwards can get to Buffalo or somewhere next year, I'm sorry, Singletary and Moss. Gus Edwards is a NFL caliber back who can lead a team
For sure.
But he's playing Jacksonville this week, and I think Dobbins and Edwards are guys you can fire up.
I can't see him going anywhere though, right? Like, I think their plan would be to have Dobbins and.
I mean, you got him for short money. You got him for short money, so it's like, why not keep him around? And you have him, and then you have JK on the rookie contract. Yeah, it'd be tough to kind of let him go.
Ingram looks a little old. He's cheap to get rid of.
Yeah.
And what would Twitter do on Tuesday mornings when there's nothing else to talk about if Gus is not still in Baltimore? Like, I feel like they as an organization have to appreciate the situation they'd be putting us in with that. So I think they're smart enough to keep him around.
I'm sure they know that.
Yeah. I've written many a letter. I've not sent them. They are still in my draft folder, but I have written many a letter.
Head on the tongue.
It's a stylus.
Yeah.
I write handwritten.
Palm Pilot.
on my BlackBerry.
Just you wait.
Oh, that's good.
They did manage to squeeze Ingram right out of there between the two of them.
Yeah,
They sure did.
well, that was easy.
And hey,
Is that a Lamar reference again? Are you calling Ingram shit? What's wrong with you? Dude? Put some respect on his name. He's had 5 RB1 seasons.
Big trust.
Right? Yeah.
Big trust. A big trust.
Big trust.
And I think that what's funny about that is I feel like that's the the Paul Rudd, like that's Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins right now. They're just sitting there drinking it up. Hey, look at us.
Look at us.
Who'd have thought? Not me. Not me.
Not me.
I love it. 106 here, and I've got a couple of UDFAs now. Obviously, if you all have any UDFAs, throw them out at the end as well. But my 106 pick, and for my fantasy season, I feel like they're just a lot of my leagues, and I've kind of got one for each area of fantasy, like underdog, dynasty, redraft. I'm just going to encompass it all together. It's all going to be one, and just happened to just hang around in a bunch of leagues, and all of a sudden you find yourself on semifinal weekend. And people are like, "What? FF? He's still here?" Like, and the player, you have to know the player. It's James Robinson. It's like, wait, what? What? James Robinson, top 5 running back in fantasy. He's still here. Week 14. What? That fully encapsulates my fantasy season. Just I'm snuck around through the wasn't high flyer, wasn't the points, wasn't the best in records, but a good enough team to scare a lot of folks, to win an opening weekend, and we'll see what happens in the semis. FF's still here. That's me. That's me this year.
I like that one.
Proud of you, J Mike.
I appreciate that, man. I felt really good about that one. UDFAs though, I do have a couple of UDFAs. BJ, this is a spinoff on yours. FF Gritty. Talk about gritty left and right. Justin Jefferson. I mean, That's my man. When I go back, because I've got receipts, because all of a sudden everybody's a Justin Jefferson fan, and look, there's plenty of room on the bandwagon. Y'all, listen, we're all family here, but there are lots of you, to be unnamed, but I have the receipts. When you went on podcasts and you said you wouldn't take him in the second round before the combine. I wouldn't take this guy in the second round. I remember those comments coming from you big names, and that's okay. Welcome aboard. I'm not mad. But let's enjoy this together. Let's enjoy history together. This is beautiful. And then the last one is FF2 face. FF2 face. Now, Gabe, there were a couple of wide receivers that we were both very excited about this year. And it's actually two duo, one's on the same team, and then the two different guys who were just really close to each other. Coming into the season, it was, if you remember, Gabe, we were both pretty excited about DJ Chark.
Oh, okay.
And we were excited about Terry McLaurin, right? And they were right around the same place in ADP. We thought, oh man, big step forward for both of these guys coming. And it happened for one, and it didn't happen for our hometown, quote unquote, Chark, right? Utter sadness right now. So there's that. But then, like you told me, beginning of the season, we can't keep copping out when it goes to DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett. You've got to choose. You've got to put your fantasy stake in one. Yeah, you can't keep. We straddle the line. It's like, okay, well, I've got them 19 and 18. You know, they're right. No, that's a cop out. Gabe said you got to choose one. Stop being a coward. Stop. FF cowardice.
Yeah.
and I couldn't do it. And some people, the folks who roll with DK are reaping the benefits, and the folks who ride with Lockett, it's not a bad consolation prize, but it kind of feels like you landed on the wrong side of the bet, if you will. So those are the UDFAs that I'm bringing to the table. And again, if you all have any, let me know what you got. But those are the two that I feel like I had to get off my chest.
Terry's been had a couple duds the last couple of weeks too, but he's certainly where we want him for sure. I mean, he'd been top 10 nearly the entire season, and then right when you need him,
you got Dwayne Haskins coming in, so things will get a lot better.
Ooh, child.
Things are gonna get easier.
Did I say sticking around the same team that one of the UDFAs has to be like at I'm just happy to be here, for people who lucked into having like JD McKissick on their team and they started Jimmy Graham on weeks that he was productive for them. And there's like all these random people, the people you would make fun of behind their backs in your draft.
Nelson
Aguilar. You were an asshole. Who would have like
Aguilar.
Yeah.
Nelson Aguilar. Dude, I'm telling you, he had a couple big weeks. Corey Davis, another one, couple of decent weeks where you're like, shit. He's like, just happy to be here. Just happy to be FF happy to be here.
Yeah. Gaskin.
Okay, we got to watch the Corey Davis slander here.
What'd you say, Dingus?
I will not.
No slander. I'm all for. I'm a big Corey Davis
slander.
I'm a big fan.
I'm happy. I'm happy he's coming through. I'm just waiting for Laquan Treadwell.
Dude,
Brian tried to text me.
The first guy I texted the other day. I go, "Oh my God, Laquan Treadwell is playing, and he just caught a touchdown."
He tried to text me Laquan Treadwell, and his phone auto-corrected to something else. And I go, "Your phone doesn't even believe that Laquan Treadwell's still playing."
Yeah,
Siri doesn't even believe it. Get out of here.
It said Lawson Treadwell, like in two words. I'm like,
yeah. Who dis?
It was so funny. Who dis? New phone. Who dis?
Wash wide receiver. Who dis? I'm sorry, Laquan.
Oh man.
Josh Doxson.
Josh Doxson too. Don't get me started. I love Josh. He was another one I loved.
Beckham.
Oh yeah.
Darrell Green Beckham. He was a savage.
I told somebody that
was the original
was going to be
DK
relevant.
Metcalf.
You told someone Josh Doxson was going to be relevant?
Yeah, like this year. Like before this year, I told somebody, I was like, you watch. You wait.
There he comes.
Just you wait.
Chugga. Here he comes.
You just wait until he puts up those 13 catches, and you'll be sorry.
You'll be so sorry.
I meant Braxton Berrios.
Did I say Josh Doctson?
Just you wait. Darnold to Doxson, book it. And that's the thing. It's probably teams still in your playoffs too who have that really gross, like they kind of parlayed these like satellite backs into each other throughout the season. So they took their like Naheem Hines, who transitioned, like he was able to carry him for a few weeks, and then they've got, I don't know, somebody else extra gross like Rex Burkhead, who they got a couple of decent weeks from. And then now, like you just said, they're about to fool around and win championships with J.D. McKissick. Like it's gross out here. It's bad out here. Frank Gore won championships with 10 points. Oh man,
one of those guys.
You're basically describing my Scott Fishbowl team, by the way, J. Mike. Thanks so much for the shout out. I feel very seen right now in this situation.
Well, if I share screen here,
take a look at this roster.
One of those running backs that's winning leagues right now because you got him early off the waiver wires is Mike Davis, guy that nobody drafted. And because McCaffrey went out so early in the season, you were only 0-1, 0-2, 1-1 when you're able to get Mike Davis off the waiver wire. And now he's probably carrying a lot of teams right to the fantasy playoffs or semifinals, just like a Naheem Hines. So
and to the championship. I don't think Calf's coming back.
No,
I think.
Why would you play him? I mean, if you're Carolina, it'd be dumb to play him. Like, what's the point? You're not playing for anything. You might as well sit him. He is your franchise. So
remind me, what was his injury again? Too McCaffrey.
Which one?
The most recent one I think was a quad.
Okay, yeah,
quad or shoulder.
The first one was high
ankle sprain.
High ankle, and then all right, yeah. Those things are
half the game.
It's almost like those two you got to worry about the most as well. Like, shame on me or us, John, for not, prescribing Mike Davis more on our podcast, because it's like, dude, like a guy goes down to a high ankle sprain. We're like, well, you're going to get like a couple weeks out of Mike Davis. It's like, I know we thought Christian McCaffrey was Superman, but he's still freaking human, right?
Right.
Like high ankle sprains aren't easy just be 100% coming back from, no injuries, no problems. Look at Mike Thomas. Obviously he struggles on his way back as well. So,
and the problem is you start running different and something else will pop up, which is, because you're favoring that ankle, you're favoring that leg, and all of a sudden like another injury pops up on a different leg because you're just running different and you're running weird. And it's just, it's how it works. It's not like, it's not like hockey where you have a boot and you have a skate around you where you can kind of stabilize that ankle. Football, it's like, dude, you need that mobility. You need that flexibility on your toes. And so high ankle sprain's devastating.
Yeah.
Can I pat myself on the back real quick? Oh, I'm sorry.
Of course you can.
I can do this silent. I can put myself on mute and still do it.
That's a good point. Will you actually just do that as I just, finish the story here? Two things. The calf is the ultimate just you wait. You got him. What did we get him? Did we get him one or 2 weeks? I don't even know.
Two. I think maybe 2 or 3 max.
And he was unreal when he was in, but
I know, but that's the other thing that bothers me, and this is horrible, but this is like my conspiracy theory of like all the injury, the ankle one, like I remember them replaying that like so many times, like trying to figure out like how he even sprained his ankle. And then like the shoulder thing happened and we weren't even sure how that happened. And then it was a quad in practice and we didn't even see it. And it's like, come on, man. What's going on here? Huh? Christian? Huh? So that's my conspiracy theory of the year. If they just wanted, because he got so many carries in college, already so many carries in the NFL, they're like, we're not going to be super great. Let's just see how this works out with Rule and wait till next year. Give it to the Saints. Give it to Tom. All right.
You're the Tommy boy.
Breeze and Brady will be gone next year.
Can we acknowledge that Jake is still patting himself on the back silently?
I know. I was
Right.
trying to milk that as long as I could.
I'm waiting to hear
Speaking of
about it.
milk.
Dislocate his shoulder, patting
I will
himself
do
on the
this all goddamn episode.
And speaking of milk, let's head to you, Jake. Now, which one of your teachers did you say smelled like?
It was Miss Jefferson, 100%. Every goddamn English class, you're like, what is I know that smells familiar. I don't know exactly what the smell. It's not bad. It doesn't smell terrible. It smells like something that I should be able to pinpoint and I can't. And that's what's so frustrating about it. Mrs. Milk, we'd always call her, as we threw balls at each other's face.
Pause.
Yeah, it got weird. I'm sorry. I do want to say. I just wanted to pat
yourself on the back, Jake. Yeah.
I wanted to pat myself on the back very quickly because I was telling a lot of people before the season started to pick up the obvious handcuff to Christian McCaffrey because you just didn't know what was going to happen. And so to all those people who picked up Reggie Bonifant off of waivers because of my advice, I just want to say that you're welcome. You are welcome.
Oh, he was supposed to be the backup, wasn't he? Oh,
I don't know, but I really like
so
his
hyped
name.
for him. Yeah.
It was a good name.
It's a great name. That's part of fantasy. You got to have a good name. That's why people don't like. Certain guys because you get crappy names. Tim Patrick. He's such a pedestrian name. It's like I don't want to play this guy. He's so average. Like that's just such a crappy name.
Yeah, like I want to start Joe Joerson in my quarterback spot. Like, come on, guys, get a real name already.
For real.
Well, I think you lose all credibility when you have two first names as your name. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
You just hit it there, Tim Patrick. You can't have two first names and be a dominant player in the league.
No. You never see gold jacket Tim Patrick. This doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense. Hey, forget it. Get out of here.
That sounds really good together, though. When you say
it actually does sound pretty good.
Sound really good.
Yeah, it does sound pretty good.
Lawrence Terrell would qualify for that, John.
Who would?
Lawrence Taylor.
Oh yeah, shit. And he is actually a sav. Yeah, I actually love him. Damn it.
All of a sudden, you start thinking about all these names. You're like,
wait, who else?
Ed Reed? Does that count?
That's borderline. I'll give it to him.
Only Reed? Okay.
There's a lot of Reeds these days, right?
Yeah, it's a popular new name. It's new millennium. Those hippies naming these kids Reed. All these hippies. Quarantine babies.
This is going way back for a second. I'm sorry, but we were talking about the high ankle sprain, and the last three that come off the top of my head, the last 2 seasons, Saquon, who, like everything just kind of fell apart over the last season for him. After he got the high ankle sprain, tried to come back early, wasn't quite right. Then obviously missing this year. We had Mike Thomas at the beginning of this year, and then CMC. It was the most obscure thing too, because I remember watching it live. He just kind of got tackled as he was going into the end zone. I think it might have even been against the Bucks. He was either Bucks or the Raiders. I can't remember exactly, but I remember watching it and thinking like what's wrong with him? Like he looked like he was fine. He just got tackled, tripped up, and his foot kind of landed kind of funny in the dirt. And then fast forward, and he's missed all the season. He came back for a game and was like, "Look how tantalizing I am! You see all these points you got back in your lineup? Yeah,
so many points.
And like, oh, my shoulder. It's like, oh, dang, man.
I didn't see the shoulder injury either. I never saw that.
It was
conspiracy
obscure.
theory, man. We never landed on the moon.
Kennedy got shot by the grassy knoll. Yeah, this all makes no sense.
All right, now we're podding.
Oh shoot! So at this point, the thing is, we really have to get to. Besides the fact that you might have got that at a local swap meet in Canada, for the folks that don't see it, you're listening in podcast form. Our man Dingus, aka Dungies 2, is currently rocking a red blazer, if you will. Sports coat. What do we call it? Blazer? Okay.
Blazer. I'll go with blazer.
With the nice velvet purple underneath.
I wasn't sure what you were about to show us, but I was excited.
As long as the
You
skirting
see all
doesn't
these
come, we'll be
Rolexes?
fine.
And it's red and it's very Christmassy. It's got black Christmas trees, kind of green. I don't know if
I
that's
think that's
patent
green.
leather. They kind of look like, okay. In some angles it looks black. It's really chic, really chic. With stripes and all sorts of designs. It's very festive. Can you please walk us through the homeless man that you had to beat up and take that from before you decided to rock it this evening? Because truth be told, I dig the look and you rock it well with the matching tie.
Homeless man draft.
The first thing is here, in Canada we've got Don Cherry. He's kind of what made the fancy suits look where they started with. But you're right. There was a homeless guy just on the corner of 3rd and Main here in my town. He was basically wearing this. I gave him like a toonie and a couple loonies to give him his jacket here. So I gave him some paper money, some plastic money, and he took it. So we were good to go. It didn't cost a whole heck of a lot, really. I think I pulled his look off really good. Still not wearing pants because it's still only like 30 degrees out. So there's no pants until it hits 0 here. So I'm sure I can get the matching pants at a later date. It might just cost me a little bit extra, but I didn't want to take the pants from him too. So
pants are
Cherry. Fun fact: I have an autograph from Don Cherry. It says on his book. It says, "Score pretty, marry hotter." Is love Don Cherry. It's unbelievable. Oh, so that's great.
I actually feel like pants will detract from the overall look, Dingus. I don't think that you want pants with that particular ensemble.
I agree.
I think that you want a little mystery.
Just let the jingle bells hang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like you
Maybe
said, I
if-
got the tree skirting to go with it right now. So
If anything, maybe a single mistletoe. That would be my only
Let's say
suggestion.
mistletoe. Yeah.
maybe a little
me
mistletoe
to
hat, a little
Tinseltown, huh?
chestnuts roasting on an open fire type feel to it all. Just let everything drop down.
Definitely.
Big fan.
And just in case you
Ornament.
were you need some help there, Peter got you.
Pete.
For a friend.
I'll pull a little Scott Simpson there with like a bearskin rug in front of the fireplace and just kind of
Strong.
pose for everybody.
Stop it.
Maybe cargo shorts. Maybe cargo shorts.
Next
Cargo
thing,
shorts do everything.
They really do.
next thing he's gonna say Kenneth Dixon RB1. Oh, stop it.
Can you stop letting him live on this podcast?
Just every once in a while you gotta
Just drop that.
2020's been rough enough.
and he back.
You keep
Just you wait.
listen. If both Scarborough can pop up on a roster this year,
There.
you know what? Your boy Kenny the God Dixon can come back and do something. You might be right.
Mhm. Who was it? Dante Foreman. Like I've seen so many guys,
Oh my
like Jeremy McNichols, like just guys that are
Jeremy
just,
Hill. Remember the Jeremy Hill resurgence that we're all still living through currently?
The 3-day, that 3-day
Dante
resurgence
Moncrief.
there.
Dante Moncrief sighting
Yeah.
this year.
Yep.
He actually had a good week too.
I like those. That is one of my favorite feelings in playing Dynasty. Just having or like playing it for a while now, I guess, where like those just complete busts just come back, and you're like, you just feel like you automatically feel like
Vindicated. Yeah.
Well,
we're
just
back.
to tie this all up in a nice bow. Josh Gordon's coming back week 16. Just you wait.
Just you wait.
It's so funny when you see names like that trending on Sleeper. You're like, dude, what are these people falling for? Like, holy smokes. Like, how desperate is your team that you're picking up Josh Gordon right now? Like, you got to be hurting. You really got to be hurting.
I think Kalen Balaj is the biggest one.
That's a good one.
Jalen Balaj, great one.
How does that even happen? Like so many years, seasons, teams.
He had a couple relevant weeks. He had like a couple.
You're like, holy cow! Like he
That's
actually
another one.
did something.
CJ Procise for
I was
sure.
so mad when he caught a
Procise.
touchdown in that Texans game because David Johnson was out, and I knew Duke Johnson was just getting the massive workload, and then CJ Procise.
You
Just
have a
stick it.
guy right here that caught the one CJ Procise game against that guy right there.
Shut the
From Atlanta.
so mad.
Right before he got
He did
injured in
not.
Seattle.
Yeah,
He
it
ripped
was.
off that one long run. Remember what was it, like an 80-yarder?
Yeah,
You're
I do remember.
disgusting.
It was the worst. It was disgusting. It was the worst. I'm like, and it was one of those
Never
things
saw
where
him again.
I see him in the flex, and I'm like, oh, I'm going against CJ Procise. Like, I'm totally good. Like, this is fine. Life is great. And then all of a sudden, he rips off an 80-yard touchdown run, and I go, of course, CJ Procise does this thing.
And they get injured the next play.
And then he gets injured, and you never hear from him ever again.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
listen
Great.
to that.
Him, Sam Bradford. Sam
subtle
Bradford, same thing. Sam
smack
Bradford
talk.
won a game against me. We have a terrible history of one and dones against me.
Sam,
Brian.
you got to tell the Sam Bradford story. That was the
No,
best.
I don't want to tell Sammy
That was
Sleeves
the
is I hate him so much.
Uh,
So I can't lay the exact story out because I'm kind of forgetting. It was a while ago. But Brian was between Tony Romo and Sam Bradford as who to start against me. And for the longest time, he had Romo in his lineup. And Monday night, Sam Bradford was playing. So last minute, he switched to Sam Bradford. I was up by like 20, I want to say like 24, 25 points, something like that. And he got Sam Bradford in, and I go, all right, you got Sammy Sleeves, and I'm up by a chunk. So I feel confident. Sam Bradford goes for like 330 and 4 touchdowns in this one game, and then gets injured the next day, or gets injured at like the last play of the game and is out for the season. And I'm like, of course, this guy drops an absolute monster of a game and then leaves for the rest of the season. And then we haven't heard from him since. I think that was when he was on the Rams, and we haven't heard from him since. So
it was his 1 year. It was his first year at Mini, and we looked back at it on the podcast like real time one time. We go, oh my god, that was his best career game.
His only game, his one game where it was like 360 yards and 4 touchdowns.
I go,
like,
only what would happen to you, John, is that you catch the best career game of a guy.
John, do you understand how BJ just made you smack talk against yourself? Like, that's the next level mind shit that he just did to you now.
It is
All he did was ask this one subtle question of like, wait, how long was that run again? I don't remember. It was like 60, 70 or some shit like that. No, it was 80 yards. And then you had to carry the baton the rest of the way for him. That is some fucking crazy.
Crazy, right?
My mind trick.
And we got Sam Bradford. His Sam Bradford experience. Oh my goodness.
Some real
Please
Jedi
tell
mind
You got to
trick
tell
shit.
that story.
Yeah,
Please tell me the story about how I'm better than you.
Yep. It's the story of my life.
But
Story of my
I
life.
thought it was going to be a
Living in
really
the shadows.
close
It's
game.
cold in Brian's shadow. It's really cold.
man.
I hate it.
It's nothing better than fantasy
I
football.
thought by putting Sam Bradford in that you'd actually have a chance in this game. I thought it was going to be really close. Tell that story about how Sam Bradford and my team destroyed you.
John, you go ahead and tell the story. Yeah,
No. I'm good. I'm good.
that's-
I'm drinking my cab. Life is. I'm back to.
You could have
peaches.
just said no, and I probably would have told it. But
No,
This-
I like
BJ.
telling it because gets me fired up. I get the adrenaline absolutely bubbling. It's
That's
annoying.
That's the thing, BJ. He said, let's go. Let's rewind the tape. You went and said, you've got to tell the story.
yeah,
And John's like, I don't want to tell the story. I'm not telling the story. Not 10 seconds later, he already told the story. And me and Jake are both looking at the screen like, oh no, he's got to have real estate in his head.
State of decay in my mind is really bad.
That's like essentially like, I'm going to make out with your girlfriend, but you're allowed to watch me do it.
Yeah,
Basically
really
what he
just
did to you.
really just cucking me in front of my own fantasy team. It sucks.
oh god.
Thanks, Brian. Real friend. Love you. Happy to be here. Thanks. Cheers, boys.
For the love of Sunday.
Yeah, that podcast is dead, by the way. Anyone wants to take that handle, they can certainly have it.
What have we done, Jamie?
Podcast is no longer existing. Anyone wants to run with it, we got like
Hey,
we got like 7 followers. You can have it. It's all
and
yours.
we came up with handles already, so we can just make it.
Yeah.
Starting this week on For the Love of Saturday.
Yeah, right. Just start covering cricket. I don't know.
I don't know.
The history of Sam Bradford, a podcast.
Woof.
Yeah.
Woof.
A memoir.
That sounds like a 30 for 30 kind of podcast.
Yeah.
It really would be.
Easy, tell the story again.
Half of the 30 for 30 would be him being interviewed, making him tell the story.
You got to tell the story.
If you don't tell it, I'm gonna tell it. If you don't tell it, I'm gonna tell it.
Too funny.
The open bar used to be where we brought people together, not broke podcasts and friendships apart. I don't know what happened to us.
No, we do this on our own podcast.
There is nothing that could tear us apart. It's a love-hate thing. It sucks. It's a love-hate, but mostly hate, a little bit of love. As I just slam some more vino.
I know. Yeah.
Just
The cabbies are here.
The cabbie's feeling good right now. What are you drinking, by the way, over there? I saw you with the little coupe glass.
I know.
Looking sexy as ever.
Ooh. Yeah, look, I know, guy. Look, you're both Boston guys, right? Is that that true? Right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna like this, guys. You're really not gonna like this.
Let me guess.
Yeah.
Manhattan.
Ah, shit. Look, it was really good to have you two on. It was really good.
Yeah. Manhattan might be one of my favorite cocktails of all time. It really is.
There you go.
Yeah, it might be. It's such a well-balanced drink.
Yeah.
Start to finish. Yeah.
Boston doesn't have cocktails. They're just like, have this beer.
Have this beer or Jameson. You got Jameson.
True. Yeah.
Plenty of JMO.
Yeah. JMO. Yeah.
Are you allowed to put ice in it?
Big
And
old
that way,
fashioned,
technically,
right?
there's a
There's a lot
second
of
ingredient. and
In
then it feels
Jameson,
like a
you can
cocktail.
put ice. You can put ice in it if
Okay.
it's summertime. Sure.
If it's really hot.
If it's really hot out, you can put some ice in it, cool it down. Boston there's really only 2 or 3 cocktail bars in Boston that I would associate with. Everything else is just beer and whiskey.
Yeah. Okay.
Fun fact: Boston is number 2 behind Dublin in terms of consumption of Irish whiskey. Fun fact.
Number in the world.
In the world,
Yeah.
Dublin is number 1, and number 2 is Boston.
Impressive.
Yeah. We got that going for us.
Yeah. No, me and John are 1/16 of that.
Yeah. Tell the story again.
I gotta start thinking of more stories here.
No, not a mas.
Oh, I remembered another one, John. Oh God, no, we're not.
Which one? Wait, which one?
The best one was the Russell Wilson. Was it Russell Wilson, Doug Baldwin?
Oh, yes. And I had.
Was it John?
No. Yes, it was. And I had what's his name? I had from the Falcons, and then ended up going to the Patriots, and ended up going to the Patriots. Mo Sanu. Yes, that was a good one. That was close. That
was razor thin.
That was like razor thin.
4 or 5 years ago. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, it was insane because I was.
That was a good match though. That was just a straight up good. That was just a good back and forth.
I was bragging on him all week about starting Mo Sanu. Like who in their right mind starts Mo Sanu, right? And he had that stretch that was really good. And he puts him in, and I'm like, Mo Sanu Sunday night. What is he going to score? Maybe a touchdown if he's lucky, but he's going to have like 4 catches for 40 yards and a touchdown. He ends up, it's the one game that he scores 2-3 touchdowns. I forget what it was.
I think it was 3. I think it was 3 touchdowns.
You had a hefty lead. I ended up having Russell and Doug Baldwin going on a Monday night. I was down like 45 points. And it came down to the very end, and I think it was a last play, right? They won
Hail Mary.
They won on like a somewhat of a Hail Mary on like a 3rd down, right? It wasn't like a true Hail Mary.
It was like a 40-yarder to win the game, and I was absolutely devastated. He was texting me, and Brian did the classic like hey, like good week this week. Like it was a tough matchup. And there was like, 30 seconds left in the game. And there was an absolute bomb to Doug. And he goes, the only way I'd win is if there's like a bomb to Doug Baldwin. And it was a bomb to Doug Baldwin. He wins the match. I was so pissed. I was out to dinner with my wife and I'm like, I was sitting there and I remember I was steaming. We were out to dinner and I was so mad. She's like, what's the matter? I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, leave me alone.
Did he text you right after and he was like, did you see that? Was that Doug Baldwin?
Yeah, what was
Did
that?
he
He
get
goes,
that?
Yeah.
did Doug
What
Baldwin
happened?
just take that
89?
win? Did I just win? What
I
happened?
forget his number.
I'm
What
not
is it?
Sure.
Oh, I was so that one was, but that was a good match. I was just on the losing end again. What else?
He was one of our favorites, Doug Baldwin.
Dougie B.
He was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I miss that guy.
He was so hard to predict. I felt like every year we were like, okay, it's obvious he's going to be like wide receiver 1 this year, right?
Yeah.
And then he kind of was, but he really wasn't because he was always like it was the most like nebulous career of like a top end wide receiver that I've seen in quite some time. Of like, oh man, if everything just worked out for Doug Baldwin, it would work out for me too because I have a lot of Doug Baldwin in all of my rosters, and it was never terrible. Like I never remember him. But it's just like injuries, and he was never really out there. And then when he wasn't the same. It kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Is Robert Woods Doug Baldwin 2.0?
Ooh.
No, Doug Baldwin scored a ton of touchdowns back in the day, right?
I was gonna say Robert Woods greater than.
Ooh.
You know
I
who
think
Doug
it's-
Baldwin
could
was
be.
somewhat reminds me of?
Who?
That's what I'm saying. Like he's the upgraded version of Dougie B.
Yeah,
But go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
I think so.
I think so.
I kind of compare. Well, this is a bad comparison as well. I don't know why I'm making this, but Steve Smith a little bit because Steve Smith is a Hall of Famer, right? But like he was always that guy. It's like we were always trying to find a way to throw him away. And towards the end of the career, he kept getting injured. But like every time he was on the field, it was like the guy's incredible, right?
Yeah.
That was
They
Doug
both had
Baldwin.
huge chips on their shoulder, both
Yeah.
Baldwin and Stevie Smith. Stevie Smith had his success with a guy named Del Holm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got on the flip side, Baldwin just came to Seattle essentially a few years too early, I guess is the best way, because Seattle was heavily invested in the run game. If he was there with like this Seattle team right now with his skill set, he'd be top 5 wide receiver right now. We'd be talking about him in the same breath as a DK Metcalf. He'd be above Tyler Lockett even right now. So
Yeah. For sure.
For sure. He was awesome.
This is one last football thing that I want to get in before we get ready to. I know. I'm curious because we brought up a lot of really gross names at running back earlier. Like we can't just skirt past that. You forced your boy Kenneth Duggar Dixon back in our lives. Duggar.
I get to skirt when I want.
I'm too fast for y'all, man. You forced him back in. So we brought up Kalen Ballage coming back and having relevance. Some other names that we brought up. I don't want to go back through the list of trash that we did. No, I'm sorry. That's rude. Trash. just a list of underperforming running backs that we thought were done, which all of a sudden weren't done. Right. So we'll leave it at that. This just begs the question. So when and I'm curious with you guys, when it comes to these running backs that we took in the later rounds, or these running backs that we'll take in our dynasty leagues moving forward, we saw our Josh Kelly come and be a shooting star and then fade, and we've watched guys kind of get moments. Josh Adams a couple years back, I think with Philly, kind of even had a resurgence this year. Had an appearance with the Jets, right? So this land of misfit running back, TJ Procise, what? And obviously it's going to be league dependent, right? So if you have like 32 spots on a roster, you're more likely to hold on to a lot of these obscure names. But just in general, do you have like a process, or will you be thinking through how long you hold on to these random running backs? Because we're quick to toss them away when they get to be 27-ish, right? We're quick to want to toss them in the trash, but we're watching, hey, maybe somebody might pop up in their rookie year and they might not show up again for another 2 seasons until randomly Jeremy McNichols is getting run behind Derrick Henry, right? So are you all more apt to want to hang on to running backs, even the more obscure ones, even if they get dropped in the offseason and could land somewhere else? You're Wayne Gallman, I'm just curious, how are you all looking at obscure running backs moving forward? Is it business as usual, or are you more apt to want to hang on to them for a while?
I'm quick to move on with the running back position there, and this is saying something because I still have all my Josh Gordon shares. Okay, so take this with a grain of salt. I still have all my Josh Gordon.
Making of a masochist.
And I still believe I might have a Laquan Treadwell spread in there. But you hit it right here. We've seen this year Samaje Perine get involved. Alfred Morris came back to life this year. We're talking guys these are guys I'm cutting. I'm not touching them. I'm probably still leaving them on the waiver wire, but it's too hard to predict. The NFL, if the more you think you know about the NFL, the more you think you know about fantasy, the more it proves that you don't know shit. Let's be honest. There's 100,000 people out there trying to be analysts right now, and as much as you like to say, it's 50% luck and 50% knowledge. You know, you could kind of predict some of the predictability of the game, but at the end of the day, it's still one man against another man or one team against another team, and anything can happen any given Sunday, and that's kind of where that kind of comes out, right? So Kyle Juszczyk has been serviceable from time to time. Are you going to roster him too? He's had some pretty good weeks. The last 2 weeks, he's found the end zone. So do you really want Kyle Juszczyk on your roster? Are you going to go Alec Engvold on your roster? Are you going to start putting fullbacks in there? I'm not.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm more for a ceiling type of guy. Whereas if a player, if he's buried in a depth chart, that doesn't bother me so much as what's his ceiling? If he does get the touches, and if he does get the playing time, what's his ceiling look like? Like what could he do with if you gave him 13, 15 touches? What's he going to do? If he's, like you said, Alfred Morris ain't doing shit with 15 touches. So I'm not going ham, and I'm not going to keep him on my roster. I'm cutting bait with him pretty quick. So it all depends, I guess, on depth, like where is he and where do you have depth? And also, what does the ceiling look like if he actually does get the workload? We made a joke, Reggie Bonifant, what does Reggie Bonifant look like if he does get all those touches? I don't know. Like, I have no idea. I'm not wasting a roster spot. I'd rather pick up a probably amazing, probably, but I'd rather pick up a Cole Kmet or someone else, I guess, on my dynasty roster just in case.
And I might be inclined to grab a handcuff. I don't have a problem grabbing a handcuff, but I have a problem grabbing a handcuff. That's probably not going to happen, especially when you can roster a wide receiver 4 like a Russell Gage or something like that, where there could be that PPR value going forward.
David Moore is a good example.
Moore, yeah.
I'm with you guys. I'm totally with you guys. I mean, if the ceiling is gone and non-existent anymore, I usually move on. What is the number on that? I don't know exactly, but usually around 3 years. Me and John talk about a lot, these days. It's like, I think the evolution of the NFL and how things have gone, the rookie contract, once it's up on the running back, it's over, right? Like, you can the top end stuff usually is going to be gone after the rookie contract. So that's why we always say, hey, move on from your guys pretty early, move on from the Zeke, get rookie picks, draft rookie running backs in the first round of your rookie draft and take them on, because you're probably going to have a little bit more juice there to squeeze than squeezing a Zeke out for a couple more years who has never been a home run hitter in the first place, and completely relies on volume and whatever that might be. But, I just think the evolution of the NFL now is going complete speed, and, they need these rookie contracts more than ever. Because the quarterback contracts and other contracts are going up. So, yeah, I think it's hitting the running back position pretty hard these days. You got to get out a lot earlier than you had to maybe 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, we were looking at running back touches back in like the early 2000s and 90s, and it was absolutely insane. When you look at some guy, Priest Holmes, Marshall Faulk, even go back a little further and go to Emmitt Smith, and these guys don't get 360 carries anymore. Like, that just doesn't exist, where you're going to turn and burn a player into the ground. These guys get 250 carries and maybe 80 targets, and that's what it is, and that's kind of the volume.
Unless you're Derrick Henry, and then you get everything,
Then
and
you get
nobody ever gets to take it away from you.
Here's a question for you, and I'm going to ask, because I asked Brian this too. I'm going to ask everybody this: is Derrick Henry going to break the rushing record this year?
He's going to break 2,000, but I don't think he breaks the record.
Okay, that's kind of where I was too.
It would be hard.
That'd be hard. What's it, 2,100, right?
He's got a great,
59 or something.
slate of games, but it would be hard.
Dude,
Easy
be
matchups.
fun. That'd be
Really
fun. He's got
easy
cupcake matchups. That'd be fun to see if he breaks it. But
Maybe they give him 42 touches each game.
if I was
400
Tennessee,
yards
I would just
in
lay
3
into it and just let him try. I would just
play
let him
off
carry it
that.
35 times.
They gotta be.
Can I tell you my one favorite strategy for some of these garbage running backs that we're talking? Sorry, and again, not garbage running backs. These
Misfits.
lesser
Island
thought of
misfits.
running backs that are still very good people and still very quality athletes and better than what I could ever do in my life.
I got
These
I got,
people.
I got
like
one.
Colbert.
I do scouting for hockey, and my one other scout calls them bastard childs. When you don't know what to do with the guy, he goes, "Yeah,
Is
he's
that better?
he's a bastard child. We don't know what to do because he doesn't know. You don't know if he fits this role or this role or this role. It's like we just don't know what we need him on our roster for."
See, I was trying to go in a nicer direction, and you're like, no, hold on a second.
I got
what we could call him.
He's a bastard. He's a bastard child.
Well, actually,
Okay, so I used to run with this group, and we'd call them fuck sticks, right? Because it's like, here's this group of guys, and you don't know exactly who they are, but you're like, look at this fuck stick over here.
Daddy? Dad, is that you?
That's going the other way.
It is. It's going the other direction. No, my favorite strategy with all these fuck sticks that we're talking about here is to spend all of my fab on hype and pick these people up and then trade them immediately. Like I don't even keep them on my team for a game hardly. Like I'll pick them up. Maybe I'll play them for a game if I desperately need them. But otherwise, I literally pick them up and I will wait and then I'll trade immediately. Like I don't spend my fab on wide receivers or tight ends typically or quarterbacks. Like it's exclusively for running backs. It's exclusively for those guys who it's going to be like 3 weeks, 4 weeks of utilization. And I don't really actually want them. I just want to be able to trade them away for picks or whatever.
Like James Robinson, right?
Not James Robinson, though. I feel like he's exclusive class. He is not a fuckstick. He is elevated himself far above that.
Sadly, Jake just brought me back to my childhood there.
I'm sorry, Tingus.
dang.
Fuck stick? Wait, what are we doing here?
Oh man, what a good night this has been. Golly,
It's been a blast.
absolutely fun. My side hurts, my head hurts. I've laughed a lot. This has been very, very good. Before we get into outros, Gabe, I know that we did have, and I feel like this is almost bearing the lead, Dungus too. Dingus, I feel like we've waited way too long for you to fire off, and I don't even know what you're gonna say, but I know that you had something that you wanted to get off your chest. Gabe, do we want this to be part of the outros, or do we need to make sure that Dingus fires this off in his own special Dingus section here?
Probably.
So I've got a little outro. I can do the big news right now and leave some other stuff for the outro or whatever you guys want here.
Listen, Gabe makes all the calls. Just listen to what Gabe says.
I'm ready. I think it'll spiral off into another 3.5 hours of pod.
No, it will not. No, it will not, sir. Excuse me. No, it will not with me here. Caveat. But anyway, I'm sorry.
So the big news is the exclusive here only on the open bar is in 2 weeks' time, myself and FF Down Under, we are going to be hosting our own fantasy football honors show on a podcast form in which we recognize everyone that we could possibly think of that's done a charitable deed in the fantasy football community. That means giving some recognition out there to the EFFC with Peter Gent. He's going to jump on and talk about that a little bit. Try and get the guys from the Warrior Bowl on there as well. Kickers Matter does some fantastic things. So if you guys don't know, the Warrior Bowl raised about, in American money, about $14,000. So it's right up there in the Scott Fish Bowl. And these are the stories I don't think people understand what's going out there. J. Mike, I was hitting up your DMs. How was your open bar charity? These are the kind of stories I want to get out there to the people. Who are those? Gabe, J. Mike, you guys did the open bar. I'd love to have you guys on to talk a little bit about how that came about on this show. We're going to go through, I've got a list of about 20. I know I'm missing probably hundreds and thousands of people who have been charitable in the fantasy football community. I talked to Scott Fish a little bit. This is something that he's always wanted. He's thought about doing in the past, but didn't have time for it. And then when I started jumping down that rabbit hole, I was like, yeah, no shit, no one's had time for it, because this thing gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I've talked to Russ there, Dynasty Outhouse there. He's kind of helped me out, kind of talk about how I want to do it. He told me about Gabe's hookup there with Sticker Mule, so I've contacted them, and I'm going to try and get like a little FF honors kind of sticker to hand out to those who I find out have done charitable goods in the community, kind of send them by mail, kind of like the Walter Payton Man of the Year kind of awards, where every player's got that patch they wear on the jersey. Well, I'll send out a sticker, something like that. Just my way of recognizing those who are doing good in the community, not just charitable deeds, but being, as Bill and Ted would say, be excellent, kind of throw that out there and trying to shine a light on stuff we don't talk nearly enough about. And so that was kind of like my 1,000 monkeys on 1,000 typewriters coming up with one idea. This hit me about 2:00 in the morning, and it just went out of control from there. And I wanted to go I've got so many ideas surrounding this, how it could grow going forward, where we want to take it. But I think for this year, it's going to be kind of, I don't want to say SFB Podathon style, but I'm going to try and bring as many people on, talk about what they've done, what their charity is, how they got that idea, and just get their story out there. And then, of course, bringing more awareness to their cause, which I think is probably the most important thing, which kind of leads to a little thing I'll talk about in my outro a little bit later. But this is the big news. I believe we are doing this on, Tuesday, December 29th, 8 p.m.-ish. So 6 o'clock my time. So it gives lots of people. I had to do it early because the European delegation is up at 1 o'clock in the morning for this. And a couple of the guys have decided they're going to come on. And I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. America pretty much runs all of fantasy football right now. So if you want to get in on this, you got to get in on this now. Because I'm pretty confident I'm not going to get a good majority of the community watching at 8 o'clock p.m. in Germany. You know what I mean? Which is 3 o'clock our time. I don't know what the numbers are. I think they're about 8 hours ahead of us. So it's kind of funny because Lewis, if you know him, he's done the Down Under Bowl, kind of representing Australia and giving back that way. So he's kind of the perfect guy to jump on with me and just kind of get these stories out and tell these stories of charitable goods in the community.
Oh, the hosts were drinking at the same time.
And I'm hoping I don't screw this up for future going forward, because like I said, there's a whole lot to plan in about 2 weeks' time to get it out there. I kind of want to do it like a New Year, kind of year-end, New Year's Eve kind of feel to it. But after the holidays, kind of people are still in the charitable mood, kind of tie all that on together in one little bow.
Love that. Love that. And yeah, I mean, I was ignorant to that. I'm sorry, I already forgot who it was that you said raised $14,000 nearly. Warrior Bowl, yeah. So wow, I mean, there's Scott Fish, there's Warrior Bowl, there's the Eliminators. I mean, I've seen thing after thing, just not like it's spam. It's a good thing, obviously, but just thing after thing just roll through Twitter that's all surrounded around fantasy football, which is just absolutely nuts. And I'm glad you're organizing it to bring it even further. It's already really, these kind of small communities of charity, but no. let's keep it going.
Well,
So.
it's kind of like Scott Fish planted that seed out there, and we know about the Potathon,
Sure.
we know about the Scott Fish Bowl, but it's really amazing talking to these other people that have kind of put their churches together, planted their church or whatever you want to call it. How a lot of them have drawn that inspiration from Scott Fish and how that tournament has taken off. The Baby Bowl, the Hunger Bowl, the Warrior Bowl. Like I can go on and on about all these different bowls out there as a result of what Scott Fish had started. It's really amazing.
Yep.
I remember the group chat that we're in, Dingus, Jake, we're the AIM chat group, and I remember Dingus putting in the chat randomly, "Hey, have you guys ever had an idea that woke you up and like, you couldn't go back to sleep?" And I said, "I can think of maybe one or two, bro, but like I don't even know what I did to go back to sleep. I don't know what to tell you." He's like, "No, I can't sleep," and it's really cool to hear how. And I'm guessing that was that moment for you, like you said, 2:00 in the morning, where you were like, "Oh crap! Like this is crazy!" And you got to start writing everything down. And major props to you. Major props to everybody who's bringing positivity and encouragement in a season in which stuff is wild. So kudos to you. Kudos to everyone that you're going to be highlighting. I'm excited to hear that and humbled that you even care enough to shout us out in the midst of folks who are raising absurd amounts of money. So that's man, good on you. That's great stuff. Absolutely great stuff.
And you could talk to anyone who's started these things. It's not about how much money you raise or the awareness. It's just about the doing good out there in the community. And in 2020, call it what you will, it is probably one of our darkest hours as in a whole. Like 2020 has been dark, and I think light will shine brightness in the darkness all the time, and it's just kind of getting that recognition out there right now, because there's a lot of good. Like I said, if you want to jump down this rabbit hole with me, there's so many people doing so many good things, and my biggest fear right now is failing to tell their stories properly. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, because I don't think I can do justice to all the good that's going on.
Come on, man. That is a very substantial exclamation point on this episode. That is
and that's not even my outro.
And that's an open bar exclusive. Gabe, he said, "Pwah, pwah, pwah, pwah." Right.
Drop bombs.
You had a good idea in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. Normally, if I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, I got to write down this idea really quick because it's not going to stay until morning. And then I wake up in the morning and I look at my phone and it's like, okay, but what if the Jay-Z song 99 Problems was all about melons? And it's never anything nearly as good and substantial as what you did. So I'm sincerely impressed that your middle of the night idea was something this freaking amazing.
Well, let's
Jake, you got to stop scheduling tweets, man.
Let's be honest. 9 times out of 10, if I come up with an idea at 2 a.m., it's about how I'm going to go to the bathroom at 4 a.m. without having to get out of my bed. That's basically where those ideas usually.
You go to Amazon and you look for catheters immediately, and you're like, "I'm going to be set for winter."
Yeah, I'm trying to put that together right now. Like, woke up at 2, and 2 hours later, I'm like, what?
It's just a really absorbent blanket that he tucks between his legs.
Okay.
Oh gosh. Oh.
Yeah. Well, they're not all great ideas at 2 a.m.
Yeah. Send tweet.
But they are my ideas.
We've all made really bad ideas at 2 a.m. many, many times.
All right, this was great. I'm golly, what a way to close. I'm this is great. I really don't want this to end, but everything beckons tomorrow. No, Gabe, it doesn't. No, nope.
Dumbest thing you've done at 2 a.m. draft?
Oh boy! Wait, dumbest thing you can remember doing at 2 a.m.?
Yeah, that.
Okay, go ahead and explain the outro. I have to deal with it. Excuse me. Sorry.
Excuse me. Yeah. Look, this has been a great pod, guys. we got to get out of here. All right, we've had enough. It's been too long. We pod way too long every gosh darn week. How do we do it? Who knows? But we can squeeze in 2 drafts. I don't care. We can double down with the a thing that you've done at 2 a.m., whether you remember it or not. I would imagine that any story that BJ has is going to be a story told by Bats. So, Bats, it sounds like you have 2 picks in this draft. But
Hey, you gone?
Yeah, no, you might be on your own on this one. All right, so we will do some outros here. What I need from you is who you are, anything that you want to promote, and most importantly, something that you've done at 2 a.m. that you're like, huh, reflecting either the next day, a year down the road, 5 years, today, you're like, nope, shouldn't have done that. And yeah, wow, this could get, we could expose some people here.
There could be legal ramifications.
Yeah. Thank you for signing the show sheet that Bats and BJ made. Appreciate that. Yeah. All right. After David. Where did I see that? Oh, that was an SNL bit. That was funny. All right. Who's got it? Who's got a 2 a.m. bit? Dingus, you were talking for a long time. I'm not going to expect you to go back to back unless you're ready. I know how you are, man. You stay ready. Ain't got to get ready. So if you're ready, I'll give it to you. But otherwise, we'll go in reverse.
Well, it's been a long time since I've done something stupid at 2 a.m. Oh, nice. We get the big screen going on here.
Right.
I did not expect that coming. So if anyone follows me on Twitter, they know I always do stupid things. I've done the Big Mac smoothie where I put a Big Mac in a blender with some banana strawberry smoothie mix and blended that right up and drank it. Ate dog food live on my show, the wet stuff. If you're paying attention this Sunday, again, tying in the whole charitable aspect of everything, I think it's Saturday or Sunday, we're raising money for No Kid Hungry. We call it the Get Wax Challenge, in which we are, me and Chase are getting our chests waxed live on the live stream, like 40-year-old virgin style here. So we're raising money. You go check out my pin tweet. You can either donate directly to the nokidhungry.com, or you can hit up my PayPal there, send some money. All that money is in a pool that's going straight to the guys over at No Kid Hungry. That was kind of us hitting our 2,000 followers, doing something stupid, and then trying to figure out a way to raise some money for a good cause along the way. So again, I don't need 2 a.m. to do something stupid, but it's been a while since I did something stupid. I know I used to walk on fire. We used to throw beer bottles in the air, and I'd try and catch them with a frying pan, except someone threw a tree in the air one night. I could tell all kinds of stories about 2 a.m., but for the most part, we know I do stupid things during the day, and I really don't need a reason. So if you want, check out that stream this weekend. There'll be some chest waxing going on. I think it's going to be fantastic. There will be bloody nipples when it comes down to it. I'm sure of it. So you're going to want to tune in for that.
FF bloody nipples.
Oh man,
now that hurts.
James Robinson of Handle.
J Mike feels it right now. He's feeling it. I see.
I'm not looking forward to this. Like, I've done a lot of stupid things. Like the Big Mac smoothie was bad, and it was disgusting. And I don't know how I actually got it down, but I'm actually probably more fearful of this waxing. Like in high school for fun, I got my eyebrows waxed, and that was bad enough. I can't even imagine. Don't ask. I went to school wearing a nothing but a barrel once, so there's really. I have no shame. I may have attention-seeking disorder here, in which I need other people's love and admiration. I might have that. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I had my waxed, and they got some wax on the eyelid, and they ripped it and hurt like hell. And I was like, "This is going to be worse." I'm already fully expecting. I'm not going to repeat that for
bloody nips.
Sure.
But yes.
Keep your DMs open there.
DMs open.
All right. Thank you, FF Bloody Nips, aka Dingus4, aka Dungus2. Look at me, J Mike. I can write down names too. Very, very good to have you on, my friend. It's been too long. Looking forward to I'm sorry, what's the actual name that we can throw out there for this? Is there like a tag that we can put
for the show on the 29th?
Yeah. Or just I don't know, the kind of the culmination of everything, because I know that's one part of it, and
yeah,
there's
so
more,
the Get Wax campaign is kind of my
the wax campaign. Yeah.
But that's like I've been using hashtag Get Waxed on that. But the other one's gonna be FF hashtag FF honors, fantasy football honors. Gotcha. Is kind of what I've kind of gone with. And I'm really hoping for positivity out of this whole thing, but it's Twitter, so it could go either way.
Yeah. I mean, at least you're keeping the waxing and the FF honors thing separate. That could definitely, yeah.
I want to keep it classy for the show.
Look what you did tonight, my friend.
I'm all about class.
Come on. All right. Who else we got on this show? BJ, you gonna be able to tell your own 2 a.m. story?
Yeah.
You gonna pass it off to Bats? Can you handle this?
I'll tell my own 2 a.m.
The floor is yours, my friend.
At FTL Sunday. Sorry, I'm here promoting the hashtag Get Waxed. I love that idea in our podcast for the love of Sundays. 2 a.m. story, guys. Like, one really comes to mind. 18 years old. I'm in college, living in Boston. Just happened to be finishing up at the bar, going home. I get a call. Hey, come, house party, whatever. I'm walking by myself from the bar to a house party. I have walking by a person who is bent over by their car and looking like they're changing a tire. So the good Samaritan I say, hey, what's John's laughing already because he's heard this story before. He knows it.
I know this story.
I say, hey, what's wrong, my friend? Do you need help? Yeah, I need help. It's, mind you, I'm extremely inebriated and it's, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. 18 years old, dumb as stones. And he says, yeah, I got this tire and, I need to get it changed. I don't have a spare. I got to go up the street to the Midas shop to get a spare. Once again, 18 years old, really dumb. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh man, how can I help you? Well, I just need, a few bucks to pay the mechanic to change the tire.
Here we go.
So sure enough, it hasn't registered in my mind yet at all. Probably was overserved, if you will. I said, well, I don't have any cash on me, but if you call me to the ATM, I'll grab you some cash. So, we get down to the ATM, Kenmore Square right behind Fenway Park, and at the Bank of America ATM, guy's standing right behind me. And literally it just dawned on me like halfway through taking money out. I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting robbed. And I turn around, he's got a gun. I'm like, oh, and that's how I react. I go, here. I go, take my guy just ran off, took off. That was it. Never saw him again. And honestly, when I was younger, obviously I was embarrassed to tell that story, but now I'm just like, holy cow, like how stupid was I at 18 years old? That's a dumb thing anybody could ever do.
The old 3 a.m. mechanic, the old 24-hour Midas.
Like, wow, that guy's working late tonight.
Yeah. And you're just out there trying to be a nice guy, charitable.
I tried, yeah.
Okay, trying to wax, wax on, wax off.
I'm just trying to help somebody out.
Yeah.
He gave me this whole sob story that his, something about his kid was in the back of the car. I never checked the car to see if there was a kid there, obviously.
My kid's in the back.
Wow.
Oh, man, he got me good.
Yeah. Did this guy kind of maybe look like an NFL quarterback that's played from team to team. You know, the Rams.
Wear really long
for
sleeves,
one-
right?
Yeah, sleeves. Yeah.
All right. All right.
One more. One
See,
more.
I like how
Uh,
Gabe's figuring this out. You always adapt it into, getting John on edge.
Yeah. Yeah. This is great. This has been a ton of fun being on this podcast. Thanks, guys. Fucking love it.
Can't wait to have you back.
Yeah. I'm psyched to be back. Yeah. No problem. Yeah. Anytime. Happy to be here.
Well, we'll segue and take it over. We'll skip over Jake, and since that was maybe in order at some point, and keep it with the FTLS crew.
Yeah.
Bats, I don't know if you heard our little end of the night draft that we're having.
2 a.m. I'm assuming 2 a.m. mistakes.
That's right. 2 a.m. mistakes, and the floor is yours for any sort of outro that you'd like to give to the people.
Well, you can follow me at FTLS_JBats. I will give you the best/worst fantasy advice I possibly can. Follow the podcast. You can listen to us and our shenanigans and me and Brian's bullshit. 2 a.m. I'm going to go with a similar story. I'm going to give the same setting. We're in Kenmore Square. Brian probably knows this story too. Brian was living in Shelton Hall. I had just funneled 3 beers in a row. I used to be a pretty large gentleman. I was a 260-pound man. I was a big boy. I had just funneled 3 beers. I was a freshman in college, and me and his roommate, Eric Greiba, left to go meet up with some females. Eric got in the car with some girls. I decided to go to McDonald's instead and have a little 3 a.m. McDonald's fest because women were not important to me at that time. Food was. And so I came back to Brian's room with about $80 worth of McDonald's at 3:30 in the morning and proceeded to eat it all. So that was my big 2 to 3 a.m. screw up. I didn't follow a fellow Canuck to you, Dingus. He was a Canuck who was chasing tail. I didn't follow him, and I just decided to go get about $80 worth of Big Macs and eat it and fall asleep and pass out. So yeah, that was my 2 a.m. mistake. It was fun. He is a Saskatoon boy. Yeah, Eric Grimes. Sask. He's just a big farm, big country bumpkin.
It's not a bad mistake, John.
No, I mean, it wasn't. At the time, it wasn't. At the time, it felt great. I think I had about 4 fillet of fish, maybe 3 or 4 Big Macs, some fries. It was a hefty bag. It was a hefty bag. It was $80 worth of McDonald's.
Are you sure you didn't order all that for you and then
$80 worth of McDonald's? No, I think I ordered it and we were gonna meet up with the girls, and then I went, nah, I'm just gonna keep this to myself.
When your McDonald's bag comes with a reinforced handle, there's probably a lot in that thing.
Oh,
you're gonna have to double bag that.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wrap it. When you ever leave McDonald's with 2 or 3 grocery bags full of food,
Right,
by yourself, yeah, you know shit's not going well. Life is not good. So,
they unscrew the mop, the mop broomstick so you can carry it.
Not to mention, it was 3 a.m. This shit was left over from like hours. It's like they were like, we don't have filet of fish ready right now.
Shit.
I'm like, well, hurry up, get it going. Like, get that fryer cooking. Yeah, so that was probably my this is my big 2 a.m. mistake. The Mickey D's in Kenmore Square. I maxed them out. Maxed them out. I
have never had a fillet of fish.
Come on. It's so good.
4 in one night.
Wow.
I'm kind of interested in the morning after story at this
point.
Well, I had a Lamar Jackson scenario for sure. the old rush to the can.
Well,
you didn't have the dingus story where you woke up at 2 and like, let me figure this out.
No.
We got 2 hours to do this from here.
He was figuring stuff out. He was in the bathroom figuring.
I was figuring stuff out. I was figuring life out.
Thinking.
No, I was just figuring life out at that point.
It was one of those. How did I get here? Let me tell you.
Yeah,
right.
It all started, funneled 6 beers in the matter of an hour. Yeah. So,
But look, if that was your turning point to where you are today, then
Yeah.
you know,
I think it
bro.
was. I think it was. I hit my low.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Your
now I'm
low.
here.
I hope that's your low.
It was. Yeah, it was pretty low. It was pretty low.
On a food standard.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, I feel guilty after a Big Mac.
Yeah, no. Have a baker's dozen.
I'm kind of
and come
impressed
talk to
though.
me.
Yeah, I'm kind of impressed. Yeah.
Thanks.
At the same time.
No
So
big deal.
yeah.
No big deal.
Whew. All right. Jake. So we're gonna talk to you now, and it's your turn to tell the people who the heck you are and what the heck you did at 2 a.m.
Well, my name is Jake Trowbridge, and that's what my Twitter handle is as well, because I like to be straightforward with people. And that's why the name of my podcast is Drinking and Talking Fantasy Football, is because there's no guesswork to be had with me in my life. I don't have time for it. I want everybody to know all the information right away. And so we're out there. We're on Twitter and the podcast platforms, and hopefully in your hearts. But I feel outmatched here when it comes to 2 a.m. stories. I don't have. I'm old. I feel old. I don't know the last time I was like awake at 2 a.m. to have a thing happen to me. I remember I occasionally, when I was a younger man, would come home from the bars, and maybe the next day I'd wake up and there was a can of black beans smashed on the floor with a shoe nearby. Because, maybe I didn't have access to a can opener, but I really needed those beans. But what happened between the time that I had the beans in my hand and had the shoe in my hand, it's anybody's guess. I don't know. So I don't feel like I have stories. I have segments maybe of what could be a good story. But so this feels very underwhelming and very in line, though, with my man, Bobby Woods, who has also probably done some things at 2 a.m. that he doesn't know entirely, but he has segments of, and it would be an okay story for you to hear down the line if you could piece it together well enough.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention your literal handle directly for, I think, Bobby Woods.
Yeah. The paragraph.
Yeah, the paragraph handle. Oh man, J-Mike, I just realized that all of these stories need to have an NFL player attached to them now, because I know we're not going there, but like I'm just like reflecting now of like, and Jake like trying to open a can of beans on a kitchen floor with his foot. It's like
we've all been there.
Who is that? We've all been there. No, we haven't.
If you haven't passed out making fish and chips at 2 a.m. and woke up at 8 a.m. and they're still in the oven, no,
Have you really lived?
Never lived.
You haven't lived.
Gabe, your no, we haven't is going to haunt me until the day that I die. No, we haven't.
I know. Well, you know what? I have tried to open a wine bottle before without a corkscrew, and that is really, really difficult. Like equally as difficult as a can of whatever. So yeah, I think I might be with you in that sense, but just certainly not black beans. I guess I was trying to get more inebriated at 2 a.m. I love that though. Oh man, I can't get it out of my head. Like you're like wedging it up against like something, like putting your heel on it.
I think I just threw the shoe at the can at one point.
Right.
To hope that it would solve everything.
Right.
It didn't.
Yeah.
Mike, do you think that I'm going to steal yours, or would you like to go? I don't even know what to do. I didn't think it was going to get here. I don't know. I thought it would just be kind of fun 2 a.m. stories. And then like, man, that escalated quickly. I don't even know like what I can say. I can usually like kind of sort of follow up. Like anytime that we do these drafts, I'm always so surprised about how incredible they go, because people are just so good off top, and the stories they have and the metaphors and the analogies to an NFL player. And I'm always like, man, why do we go 105, 106, J-Mike? These are always so good. And then, here we are again, except this is like personal. And I'm like, I can't do this. I don't have a 2 a.m. story where I'm like crushing black beans on the floor or smashing 4 fillet of fish or, getting robbed at gunpoint, like what? I've never been robbed, period.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really that fun. So
Yeah, what a story. Okay. I think I don't know. I don't want to do this. This is bad. Okay. This has even happened in like the last 5 years. I don't even know. I probably knew you at this point, J Mike. I'm FF Man Bun, by the way. Oh, guys, I don't want to say this. This is horrible. This isn't even a great story. It's super short, but it's just so embarrassing. All right, so a night, I'm married, right? Still married during this phase of my life. I must have had enough to drink, plenty, a few, a few JMOs. All right. Attaboy. Okay. Ain't putting no ice in that. Come on, sling it back. Let's go. And I'm asleep, and all of a sudden I'm not, and I think that I am in the bathroom, and I am not in the bathroom, and I am 2 feet from my bed, face first in a curtain next to our window, and 100% thinking that is a toilet, and just begin to, yeah, I see, this is all that I have though. And just begin to urinate all over this curtain, and like it's mine, and but the worst thing is
I bought that.
I bought that. Lowe's.
Classic.
I carried it home like this. And then the wife wakes up.
That I haven't done.
Whoops.
Babe, what are you doing?
Making sure we can't return this curtain.
Yeah. 100% thought I was in the bathroom. So, I mean, I don't know. There's probably far better ones when I was in college, but I think those are segments. I think, Jake, you said that perfectly, that there are just like segments that happened. And that is the closest thing that I can remember where it was a moment that is stuck there that I guess embarrassed about, that I can bring up on a podcast. Great. Hey, what's up? Yep. So pissing on curtains. J Mike, what you got, pal?
Short and sweet as well. Similar to Mr. Bats here. College experience at a fast food endeavor of my own. As a collegiate athlete, felt the need that 2 a.m. Taco Bell was a standard that needed to happen. So what did me and my fellow defensive lineman buddies do? As we called ourselves, DL4L, D-line for life. We all we got. We thought it would be a good idea to have a grilled stuffed burrito challenge.
No.
Oh my.
Yes. So you talk about spending stupid amounts of money. Like if you spend 30 some odd dollars at Taco Bell, you walked away with a crap ton of food.
Yes.
We all proceeded to do that. We all proceeded to essentially eat grilled stuffed burritos until we could no longer eat grilled stuffed burritos. Now, when I say that toilets were never the same afterwards, I mean the toilets were never the same afterwards. I'm leaving it there.
Smash that porcelain.
I didn't have Taco Bell for years after that. Years.
We texted recently, J Mike. You had it like a month ago. Is this when that happened?
Here's the thing. So I had it in college, and then legitimately for probably 4 years, I didn't have it again. But Kelly, my wife, big fan of Taco Bell back in the day. So to act like that was one of our random things that we got to do together is randomly hit up some crunchy tacos in the middle of the night and chop it up and talk life. So I've been there, but from then on, it was like, no, I'm not fooling. You don't know how badly Taco Bell's done my life. Anyway, that said, tonight's been fantastic. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to our guests. So incredibly grateful to have you all, Bats. BJ, we hope you guys will come back and join us sometime in the future, man. Thank you all so much. Jake, Dingus, thanks for not kicking us completely to the curb and deciding to come back and burn some time up with us. I've laughed an absurd amount. This has been such a fantastic night. I'm not plugging anything. I just want to plug these nicknames for Gabe real quick. FF Lana Best Fit, FF AM to PM, FF Just You Wait, FF New York State of Grind, FF Manhattan,
Man Bun, the Manhattan. Come on.
On Twitter at FF Man.
All right.
Gabe, take us home.
All right. You got it, FF Porcelain. Come on.
My mama named me John for a reason, boy.
All right. I don't think I've got much either. The open bar is, you know what? I'm going to be honest. It's an off-season podcast. You know, we can handle the in season, like whatever, but the in season's boring. You know, that's when everyone's podding. All right. The open bar is made for the off season because this is where we find the things that people are not going to talk about, like what the heck you did at 2 a.m. and compare it to an NFL player. Who does that? No one does that. And that's exactly where you'll find us is in the off season, because we might, you never know. We might pod within the next couple of weeks, but it might be done for 2020 on the open bar. And we might just shift into 2021. Big things coming for the open bar in 2021. We're going to be here on Tuesdays. We're going to be here at 9:30 Eastern ish. And we're going to be live. I know. So yeah, that's really all I have. That we might not be back next week. We might not be back the following week, but I would like to thank, if we're not back in the next couple of weeks, thank you for joining the open bar in all of 2020, because boy, howdy, was it a mess. And we had some fun along the way where we could. And, yeah, I don't know. It was, I can't believe it's December. It feels like April still, kind of, to a degree. And I'm glad that it's not. So, on to the next for sure. Special thanks to y'all, for being here with us tonight. And the limited action in this so-called chat that J Mike speaks of, but you know, keep on coming back if you feel like you got something to say. I don't know. I think that's it. J Mike, let's get out of here, man. I'm sick of podding. Come on, let's get out of here. I'm not sick of podding. I could have gone like 5 more hours. We're just going to bed for J Mike. Drink.
Cheers, boys.
Yeah, you're right. I know. Drinks up to everyone. Thank you for listening in all formats, either video or podcast form the next day. We love all of you. It is the open bar. Deuce is 2020. So much deuce to the 2020. The deuce 0. Night. Go to bed and don't wake up at 2 a.m. to figure out how you're going to piss in 2 hours. We want you to wet it. We want you to shit it. We want you to just absolutely ruin that bed and possibly die from it. And we're going to carry you out. We're going to roll you up in a carpet. We're going to take you out 3 floors down the apartment. We're going to drop you out on the boulevard at 3 a.m. And we're going to wait all the way until the next day until someone says to come and pick it up and say, hey, free rug. Come and get this rug from 2020. And then this guy's going to come through. He's going to come through, okay? He's going to come through and he's going to bend down. Just be like, oh, this 2020 rug has a very nice design to it. And you know who's going to come up next? BJ, baby. He's be like, hey, what you doing? Do you need help carrying this rug to your apartment down the street? And he said, matter of fact, I do. Let me take you down to this apartment here down the road that I have a very nice suite on the 5th floor, looking out across the city of Boston. It's absolutely beautiful. You're gonna love it. Hey, would you like to watch the game afterwards, buddy? Come on, I'll buy a bottle of JMO and we'll do it. Come on, all right. And then they go right. They go to the apartment. Okay, they're carrying the rug. They're holding it over like this. I don't know why they're holding it like this, but they're doing it. Okay, they get to the apartment. And they're like, look, how are we going to get it up these stairs? How are we going to get it up these stairs, my guy? He's like, you know what? This reminds me of a story. Of my friend Bats, of my friend Bats. I used to beat down on him all the time in these fantasy football matchups. And then finally Bats got the best of me and he took all of my money. So now I'm broke. But it reminds me of a story of that. So what I'm saying is never break down, never get beat down. And we got to climb these stairs, pal. We got to get up these stairs and get this rug into my apartment. All right. And where am I going to go with this, man? How much longer can I take this? So then what happened next? All right. So that's it. That was it. That's the open bar for 2020. We did it. Until next year. Deuces.